Right everyone, WeaponCollector here. Right, going to do some pistol crossbow bolt tests. So I will be testing 4 different standard bolts that you can get easily for pistol crossbows. There will be the standard ABS torp bolt, the standard aluminium and ABS bolts you can get with a field tip, the same bolt but with a homemade bodkin that I sell for about 50p each, and the same bolt with a broadhead on, which I also sell for about £3.50 each. So the tests are going to be against some wood, some metal, some water bottles, some ballistic gel, and some coconuts. Each of these tests, the bolts will be shot in the same order. So that will be the ABS bolt first, then the standard aluminium one, then the bodkin one, then the broadhead one. All of the tests today will be performed at around 8 meters. Right, we'll get onto the tests now. So the crossbow I'll be using is a Armex Tomcat 2, rated at about 80 pounds, shoots about 75 pounds. So the first bolt will be the ABS bolt, which weighs around 7 grams or 108 grain and is 184 millimeters long. The second bolt is the standard aluminium bolt, ABS and aluminium bolt with the field tip. This one weighs around 11 grams, which is 169 grain and is 159 millimeters long. The next bolt we'll be using will be the aluminium and ABS bolt with the bodkin tip. This one weighs 10 grams or 154 grain and is 158 millimeters long. And then lastly, the broadhead bolt, which is 18 grams or 277 grain and is 185 millimeters long. So you can see conclusively there that the bodkin tip and the broadhead have definitely penetrated deeper. In fact, they've gone right through the board. On to the bottle test now, and really this test just shows wound channels really. You'll see with this first bottle that it drains quickly. It's because it had an existing hole in it. All of the other penetration tests won't leak as quickly because there's not a hole to let the air in. So when I open the cap, you'll see it come out a lot quicker. Yeah, all of the bolts will pass straight through a single bottle, but you'll see different wound channels, especially with the broadhead. The broadhead makes the largest sort of hole, but it created a flap so that it was closing back on itself. You can see when I put my finger through it, you'll see how big that sort of wound channel really is. But it was, because it's plastic, it's closing back up on itself. I'll do the broadhead test again because I don't know if the broadhead wasn't laying flat on the rail or something, but it came out at a funny angle. So I'll do that test again to show you how deep a broadhead really will penetrate. And this went through a completely solid bit of the gelatin. So you'll see again that the bodkin and the broadhead perform a hell of a lot better than the 2 standard bolts. In fact, the bodkin has flown straight through, smashed off the floats. I don't know if you've noticed this though, the bodkins penetrate very well, but you can also see, if you pay attention, watch again in the earlier tests, how hard the broadhead hits. You can see it physically moving the things it's hitting where the other things actually don't. So, but yeah, Bodkin and Broadhead performing very well. And also here's the wound channel. So nice round one, little square one, and then a diamond one for the Broadhead. Onto the coconut test now, and the ABS test is quite interesting. You could see there that the bolt hit the coconut, ricocheted back, so didn't really do anything. Quite dangerous. Now I wasn't actually aware of what happened at first, so I tried to test again and it did it again. So be very careful shooting ABS bolts at a coconut. Now I'm trying the aluminium bolt and it pretty much did the same thing. Ricocheted off and snapped the tip off. So here is the Bodkin, penetrated reasonably well. You'd be happy with that from a pistol crossbow. The standard bolt with just a little Bodkin tip. And then the Broadhead again penetrated very well. At least, I think, at least about 2 inches, 1.5 inches there. So that's the conclusion of the test. You can see that the Broadhead and the Bodkin performed a lot better than the 2 standard bolts. So there's plenty more to come. I can do tests on pistol bolts that are a lot more unusual, using broadheads, stuff like that. Many different pistol bolts, but they'll be a little less common. And I can also do tests with different crossbows. There's quite a few crossbows I've got. The ones I'm showing there are a Cobra Adder and an R9 crossbow. I've got multiple full-size crossbows and multiple pistol crossbows that I can test. If you would ever like to support any of these tests, you can. It does cost a reasonable amount of money to do these tests. Coconut costs money, gelatin, all that. The bolts, destroying the Broadhead bolts, costs me at least £3.50 per go. So if you would ever like to fund these tests or these videos, you can. And it's pretty easy. You can donate via PayPal through a website called coffee.com. And what I'll show you now is how to do it.